The start of free agency just a few days away. We'll give you some of the top names you need to know as the Broncos head into this process where they try to improve their roster. Hello from inside the Broncos Media Center. I'm Phil Milani alongside Matt Boyer and Steve Atwater. We're going to go over a few position groups. These guys are going to give me the top guys in each group. And let's start with inside linebacker. Matt, who's somebody the Broncos could go after?
I know all of Broncos country, they've all said it. C.J. Mosley, the guy that I think is probably at the top of the class, Steve, when you look at those middle linebackers. Some guy who can go sideline to sideline, a three-down linebacker. Very surprising that the Ravens didn't try and tag him. I think that he would make a great addition to the Broncos middle linebacking core.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the top guys that people have been talking about. One of the knocks on him, what people say, is that he's not a great cover guy, but in terms of being a leader on the defense, getting guys lined up and getting to the ball sideline to sideline, he's top of the charts with that. There are a couple of other guys. Quan Alexander from Tampa Bay wouldn't be nearly as much. Also, Jordan Hicks from Philadelphia. He's kind of the lifeblood of that Philadelphia defense. Surprising that they aren't trying to re-sign him as well, but he is coming off an injury.
C.J. Mosley, 4 Pro Bowls, 9 career interceptions, right around 100 tackles a season. That would be a lot of production from that position. Let's move on to the safety position. Steve, let's start with you because I feel like you know a lot about that position.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, hey, this is a couple of really good safeties out there. Right at the top of the list are Landon Collins and Earl Thomas. Landon Collins, I think he's right in the prime of his career. He's going to cost so much money to get, though. I would imagine he's going to be in the $14, $15 million a year range. Earl Thomas may be a little less than that, but he's going to be over $10 million a year in my book. 2 of the greatest safeties to play the game right now. And I don't think you can go wrong with any of those, except for when you look at your budget and see, oh, man, can we fit it in? And also, Adrian Amos, the safety from the Chicago Bears, played with Vic Fangio, had a very successful year. He under Fangio and Donatel. Be interesting to see if they kick the tires on him.
I think that Amos, like Steve said, is kind of a guy who I think would be great to pair with Donatel and Fangio. Set the tone in the room a bit. I also think that Clinton-Dix could be kind of in the mix, a guy who's had a lot of success in this league for a lot of years. Again, a pretty stacked class in the very deep safety class this year in free agency.
Tyrann Mathieu, another guy who had a great season for the Texans last year. 2 interceptions, 3 sacks, 89 tackles in 2018. Let's move on to the cornerback position. That's an area where we knew heading into last season there was a little bit of a lack of depth, and then now with Bradley Roby out there in free agency, what are the Broncos going to do there?
You need a veteran guy. I think, this draft class for DBs is very deep, but I think that you need a veteran guy to pair with Chris Harris Jr., Kareem Jackson, Mo Claiborne, Ronald Darby. Those are all guys. I like Claiborne coming over from the Jets. We saw what he can do against the Broncos, Steve. 4 passes defensed. I thought that he had a great game against the Broncos, showcased some skills. Still has a little bit of juice left in the tank. Darby could come cheap coming off that injury. I know you don't like guys coming off injury, but all 3 of those guys that I just mentioned could be top guys in this class.
Yeah, the tough thing about it is when guys are coming in as free agents, a lot of times you don't know what they're like in the building, and you wonder, why won't the team that they're coming from, why didn't they re-sign them? And that's the only question mark that I have with the majority of the guys that are on the market. Now, Bryce Callahan with the Chicago Bears, I would imagine that, again, the same situation with Adrian Amos, that with him having played for Coach Fangio and Coach Donatel, if he's a player that they think can get the job done, they will definitely give him a call because he knows the system already. He can come in and vouch for the guys and help bring the guys along in that locker room. The same way a lot of coaches are able to bring guys from their previous team and just help the guys get up to speed that much more quick.
Let's move on to the offensive line. We know what the left side of the line is going to look like, but that right side of the line, a lot of question marks. Not sure what's going on with Jared Valdir, and then also a right guard. Kind of depends on what happens with Matt Paradis. Guys, let's get a couple of names that the Broncos could go after.
I think Darrell Williams from Carolina, a tackle. Coming off injury again, you might be able to get him at a discount. Trent Brown, I think, is going to be at the top of the class for offensive linemen. But like we saw around this time last year, Nate Solder was the top of the class, too, coming from the Patriots. Broncos didn't want to pay top price for him. It might be the same situation with Brown.
Yeah, Trent Brown is going to cost a ton of money. And I'm not sure we want to put that much money in that position right now, especially for a guy that's getting up there in age. But I think the offensive tackle position will still need to be addressed. Been talks that Billy Turner will be re-signed, and it's a good chance that he can compete for that starting right tackle position.
Another position that's important there, tight end. The Broncos have been looking for a tight end for a long time now. Jake Butt goes down to injury. Jeff Hireman, not sure what's going on there. Who could they go out and get to really give them a weapon at that position?
Well, we saw at the draft, T.J. Hawkinson and Noah Fant are both going to be at the top of the class in the draft, but you don't want to have to rely on a rookie first year, Steve, especially if you're running a lot of two tight end, one tight end, two back sets. I think that a guy like Tyler Eifert might come a little bit more cheap just because he's got that injury history. Also, Jared Cook,
very good tight end, played well against us, unfortunately, with the Raiders last year. Would love to see him in the building. The only thing, though, he's up there in age and just don't know how many good productive years he has left in the tank. And his career has kind of been up and down. He'll have a career year and then it'll be down a little bit, but very solid tight end. I would like to see Austin Seferian-Jenkins, though. He had a little bit of a down year there in Jacksonville, and he's a younger guy who still has a lot of years left in him, and he would love this system as well. I think it'll be a great fit for both sides.
We just went over a lot of players here. Give me one name, each of you guys, who will be wearing the Broncos orange and blue next year.
Who we want them to go after? Who's going to be wearing the jersey? Oh man, you can put me on the spot like that.
You're on the spot.
Oh gosh.
I know you don't like the.
Oh come on. I think I'm going to go with. I personally would like to see C.J. Mosley, but I think it's going to be a guy like Mo Claiborne, a guy who's got some veteran experience, the DB from the Jets.
Okay. Well, you're taking the DB from the Jets. I'm going with a little bit of familiarity. I'm going with Bryce Callahan, cornerback for the Chicago Bears. Going to be wearing the Broncos uniform here in the next couple of months.
Can I change mine? I like
No,
Steve.
I don't think so. Sorry. Well, we'll find out who's right here in the next couple of days as free agency, new league year gets underway here in just a couple of days. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Steve Atwater, Matt Boyer, I'm Phil Maloney.